Welcome everyone to the Green Staff Medical US International webinar. We are pleased to have you all here. My name is Kasim. I'll be your host for the event. Our speakers today will be our team leader Suraj. We have also our Director of International Operations in Medical Laboratory Services, which is the Quanda Stewart. And then we have our US Immigration Attorney, Mark Del Rosario. Over to you, Suraj.
Thanks, Kasim. Thanks for the introduction. So, hi, everyone. My name is Suraj. I lead the team for international recruitment. And today we are going to go through some of the insight on the international recruitment process for nurses and medtechs. Our business is dedicated to the recruitment of healthcare professionals with a focus on candidates. So candidates pursuing various paths such as F1 students, including those in nursing and physical therapy programs, TN visa holders. These are nurses who are Canadians and who are eligible for a TN visa, and the EB3 candidates. So these are all international candidates who are not in the US, Canada, or Mexico, and those seeking opportunities through the H-1B program. These individuals are at the forefront of everything that we do. We offer an international nursing program designed to elevate your nursing career, as well as an H-1B employment program for med lab scientists. We cater to the diverse needs of candidates, whether you are an F1 embarking on your nursing journey, an experienced medical professional who has already passed their NCLEX, or an experienced medical lab technologist with their ASCPI. So that's to give you some insight about what we do. We are a global company. So our sponsorship programs. So we've got F1 visa program. If you are currently enrolled in a nursing or physical therapy program in the US, you would have a visa type which is categorized as F1. And then we work with these candidates to convert their F1 status to EB3, which is also called a green card. So that's what we help them with. We sponsor their adjustment of status. Then we have F1 OPD STEM visa program. If you're currently enrolled in MLS program in the US, then you would be qualified for the OPT STEM visa. And then we help you convert your visa status as well. TN visa program, these are for Canadian and Mexican nurses and MLTs for a temp to perm model opportunities in the US. Then obviously the EB3, which is sponsoring the green cards for international RNs or MLTs, MLS, CLS, or histotechs seeking to obtain a green card sponsorship in the US. Then we have H-1B program. If you're considering to become a medical laboratory career in the US, that's the H-1B visa program for now. And E3 visa program is also for MLT currently. The MLTs who are in Australia, they are also qualified for the E3 visa program. So these are some of the programs that we are currently working on for the nurses. And then if you talk about the vacancies across the states, we have got many states, and we keep on adding new states at the same time. These are variable states. We've got Arkansas, Florida, Illinois, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Vermont, Virginia, West Virginia, Wisconsin. These are some of the states, and we keep on adding more of the states every now and then. What do we have to offer to our international registered nurses and our offering? So F1 asylum visa and TPS. These are the visa categories. So F1 is for the international students in the US. They've got F1 visa on their passport. Asylum visas and TPS, which is temporary protected status. These are for international registered nurses. How we help them. So the F1 nurses, we adjust F1 nurses, asylum visas, and TPS. So what we do, we sponsor to adjust their status from these to a green card. The TN visa, we do the same thing. Again, the ultimate goal is to sponsor you guys for the green card. So TN visa only, it's a trade NAFTA agreement between US and the neighboring countries, which is Mexico and Canada. So if you are a citizen of Mexico or Canada and you're registered nurses, have passed your NCLEX, you are qualified to get a TN visa. There's a list of documents that's needed, and we're going to help you get those documents too, so that you can get yourself TN visas accordingly. Then we have obviously the EB3, which is for international registered nurses who wants to jumpstart their career in the US as a nurse. So this would be the way to come to the US. So RNs, requirements for the RNs. So we have the nurse needs to be a graduate from a registered nurse degree program. Could be ADN, could be BSN. You should have passed your NCLEX exam if you are international. If you are in the US on a F1 visa and currently enrolled in a, bachelor of, BSN degree or ADN degree, then even if you have the authorization to test, or even if you're about to graduate, you would be qualified. We can work with that. And then ultimately you will have to pass the NCLEX before you start your assignment. The proficiency in English is very important at the same time, because you'll be dealing with patients or the hospital staff who are all English speakers. So that's obviously a requirement. Then the fourth and the final requirement would be the ability to apply for or currently hold a US state license. So these are some of the prerequisite, and I guess I'll hand it over to Laquanda, who will walk us through the requirements for international lab techs or the offerings.
Hello, everyone. So our offerings for the international lab techs, med techs, we offer F1 OPT STEM, which Suraj went over in the previous slides. For international, those who are educated here in the US, but are from international countries, will work with you if you are a medical laboratory specialist, tech, CLS, or histotech. We also offer TN visa, similar to the registered nurses from Mexico and Canada, where same medical laboratory specialists, techs, histotechs. The EB3 visa, this is provided to those candidates who have already been selected in the H-1B lottery, and upon their arrival and starting to work, we will start to work on their EB3 visa. The E3 visa, as previously spoke about, is for those who are currently Australia citizens and hold a MLT, MLS, or histotech degree. The requirements for a medical laboratory specialist, you must have first passed the ASCPI or the AMT exam, along with your English language exam. Here we put IELTS, but we do, you can take another English language exam as well, long as it meets CGFNS requirements. We also require a credentialing and evaluation report or the WES report. Either one is acceptable, and along with the visa screen, which will be needed in order for you to arrive in the US. For our international students, physical therapists, we have just added this specialty to our program. And these are only for, this requirement is only for those who are educated here in the US, but are international students. This is for our physical therapists. The requirements are a bachelor's degree or higher in physical therapy, must have a master's degree or higher in any subject, must be eligible to practice physical therapy in the country of education where the first professional degree was obtained. Suraj.
Thanks, Laquanda. So thank you for that. So now, benefits of choosing Green Staff International. You will have 24/7 on-the-ground support, application and support services. We have got competitive pay rates, continuous education and development, dedicated international project manager. Her name is Isabel. She, as soon as you land in the US or you're about to start the assignment, that's where Isabel is going to take care of, certain important aspects of your nursing career, like getting you to if you are in the need of buying a car, because most of the nurses that we work with are international nurses, once they arrive in the US, most of the locations would need them to drive around and get their own cars. So that's where Isabel can help you with getting a new car, even if you don't have a credit history in the US. And she also works closely with the housing team at the same time, with the onboarding team, who's going to help you with the medicals and all of that stuff. And there's so much more that she does. The international project manager. Then we have, you also have support for family dependence application support. We've got full immigration sponsorship, which is the green card. We have got our in-house lawyer, in-house attorney, Mark Del Rosario. So we understand that sometimes the cases can be too complex, especially with the asylum nurses, even the F1 nurses, the TPS nurses. That's where we, before we uh, get to the interview stage, we try to set up a meeting with Mark, because Mark has to deal with every candidate in a unique way, because everybody has their own scenario. So we deal every case as on a case-by-case basis. So that's that. Now, if we talk about the benefits, then we've got medical, dental, and vision insurance that we offer to all of our employees. We've got paid time offs for nurses, med techs, then the reimbursements for required upfront costs, such as the documentation part of it, like the NCLEX reimbursement, ASCPI, AMT, the English proficiency test, if you have to do that, the license endorsement, to name a few, and there's more. Housing and relocation assistance for RNs, uh, referral bonus. So if you refer a friend of yours and they make it, they get the assignment and they start the assignment once they complete certain number of hours, which is about 468 hours, you also are qualified for a referral bonus. Vacancies across the US, as we have already seen in the previous slide. So talking about the housing and travel benefits, we have Kim Strubel. She's the housing and benefits manager, and she will be helping you with the housing and travel needs. Like if you are coming from a different part of the world and coming to the US, she can help you book the flights. She will give you a call and ask you about who all will be traveling along with you, and then accordingly she will book the housing for you. Whether you need the Airbnb, she will show you some of the options. Once you select one of the options that she shared, she will book that for you, and then she will also share the benefits. She'll explain the whole benefits, the 401k, all of those stuff to you as well. And most of the international nurses, they when we apply for their immigration visa, as in Mark, when Mark does that, the address by default would be our Plano address. So even if your social security numbers are sent to the Plano address, Kim would pick it up and send it over to your address in the US. So that's that. So here's our international project manager, Isabel. Isabel,
Thank
over
you.
to
Thank you,
you.
Siraj. Welcome, everyone. Again, my name is Isabel. I am the project manager. Once you sign on and have a confirmed placement, I'll be one of your point of contact. So I'll assist you throughout your time with Green Staff Medical. So my focus is to manage and advocate for each healthcare candidate. We'll stay in contact either by phone, email. There may be some opportunities where I actually go out to the facility where you're placed. I also will follow up with your manager that you're assigned to, see how you're adjusting to the area, to the facility. So overall, I just kind of assist with helping you to make that transition here to the US in a new environment, if you're already here in the US. Next slide, thank you. So we partnered up with Swoosh. You can register online for courses. This program helps with preparing you for the exams that are listed. You can go to our site. There's a unique code, and you will receive a discount by using this code. We also partnered up with Advance Heal. This is a credit union. So because you are with Green Staff Medical, you have the opportunity to open up different accounts. Excuse me. So you have checking, savings account, You can apply for an auto loan or personal loan. Of course, you do have to qualify. And because you're a member, you can open up accounts for your family. And then we have AutoSource. This is a program for individuals that are new to the US. So if you don't have credit history, which you won't, that's okay. They'll work with you to help you to get a car based on your budget. I look forward to meeting you all, and now I'll turn it over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Del Rosario. I'm the in-house immigration attorney of Green Staff. So what is an in-house immigration attorney? Well, I'm employed by the company. We don't have to bring out the petitions to outside counsel, so we do it within the company. So as you have seen earlier slides, there are different sponsorship programs that Green Staff would bring you into, and what visa you would be needing. It really depends on the position, basically. So for nurses, for example, what we sponsor nurses for are green cards. As a general rule, the nurses are not eligible for the other visas. That's why we petition them directly for a green card. So all those who are coming from outside the US, or those who are already in the US on a different visa, like student visas F1 or TN visas. In some instances, those who are on temporary protected status or are pending asylum, we file the petition, we sponsor them for green cards. Okay. For some positions like medtechs, the H1B is available. So but it's subject to lottery. That's why it's done every year, and I mean we just try to submit the names, register the candidates for possible selection in the lottery. Okay, so now next slide, please. So question has always been, how long will the process take? Okay. Well, for the TN visas, for those who are Canadians or Mexicans, they can be in the US within 3 to 6 months on a TN visa. Okay, but for other countries, there's no such thing as a TN visa. We have to go through some other the other visas available. Like for nurses, as I said, it's a green card process. Unfortunately for green card, because I see one question here, it says, I'm a nurse from Gambia and urgently need the sponsorship visa to be relocated ASAP. Well, as much as we want nurses to be able to come into the US immediately and be able to work for us, it doesn't happen that way. No? The relocation is not ASAP. It doesn't happen immediately. The process is subject to the availability of visas as the US Department of State and Department of Homeland Security would set. So that's why there is this retrogression, because of the unavailability of visas to everybody. That's why they have a cutoff. And when we talk about cutoff, when you hear the word priority dates, that's the cutoff for the processing of visas. So right now, as it stands, the current priority date is December 1, 2021. So just imagine the wait that we have to contend with to bring in the nurses. But this waiting period, it changes regularly. Now, on a monthly basis, there's a new visa bulletin. The wait period either shortens or, fortunately, it could get longer. Okay. So anyway, yes, for F1 students in the US, we offer sponsorship for them to be able to adjust their status to permanent resident. So while they are working on their OPT, we will be processing, or we will be filing the petitions for their green cards. But again, it's still subject to retrogression and the availability of visas. And then It says here that the contract, the period to the contract for work with us as nurses is 5,600 hours. So it's well, it says regardless when you receive your green card. Yes, because even if you receive your green card today, you will still have to meet that 5,600 hours requirement. Yes, I guess that's about it. And well, I I pass it on to um, Suraj or Kasim.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you for that insight on the visa retrogression and the visa types. So now here are some of the testimonials that our nurses have beautifully written on the website. So you can always check them out on our website. These are all our nurses, healthcare professionals who wrote some beautiful comments about their recruiter, their experience with green stuff. And, you know, I can tell you that looking at these testimonials, half of these nurses have already got their green card. Some of them are on TNs and most of them were F1s. Um, and guys, remember, we have a questions and answers round at the end of the slide. So we'll just go through an overall preview so that, you know, you guys understand better about the process. And then you can also ask those questions and we would love to answer those questions for you. Can we go back a slide, please? So I just wanted to read these testimonials. I mean, even though you guys will have access to these testimonials on our website, we have more than 50 testimonials, and we're adding those every now and then. But here's a few testimonials, and I would love to read what Nurse Jennifer has to say about about her experience with green stuff. So the location and the staff was fast to answer my questions. They never left me waiting for an answer. Geet is great. He is always there for me and communicates effectively. I know he has my back. So that's one of our nurse Jennifer. We've got nurse Joshua as well, who's saying green staff medical is very responsive and helpful. I'm excited to start my nursing career with green staff medical. So, you know, these are some of the things that our nurses have to say, and this really tells you about their journey with the green stuff. And yeah, you can check out these testimonials on our website. That's www.greenstaffmedicalinternational.com. Here's some details about the referral program that I was talking about. So if you refer a healthcare professional to Green Staff International, you earn $1,000. The terms and conditions are obviously they need to start the assignment and complete about 468 hours. Once that's done, you're automatically paid to your account directly. Or you can also log into you can just go to www.greenstaffinternational.com/referral-program, and you can find more details about that and refer your friends. These are our social media, social channels, Facebook, Green Staff International, LinkedIn. You can find us at Green Staff Medical US-International. The Instagram, it's at Green Staff US International, and TikTok is Green Staff Medical USA. Website is www.greenstaffinternational.com. We've got the questions and answers. So I'll start to pick up some questions from the chat. All right. Starting from the very first, I'm keenly interested for nursing job to the United States. And I assure you that our recruiters will reach out to you after this webinar. You will all assign a recruiter of your own, and they will reach out to you, find out about your specialty and what areas or what states would be, would love to hire you and all of that good stuff. And they will also discuss the visa types, the contract, and everything with you in detail. I see Javed has a question. Last time you were trying to do the NCLEX sponsor. We don't do the NCLEX sponsorship, Javed, and I understand that in Pakistan there is no NCLEX center. What you can do for that, you can just get the go to the Pearson VUE website, and then what you will have to do is to get yourself book yourself a slot, and then I guess the nearest option for you would be Philippines. Go to Philippines, and you can take your NCLEX there. That would be the only reasonable option for you, I think. because a lot of our Pakistani nurses, we work with nurses from all over the globe, and we do have some nurses who are from Pakistan, and that's what they did. They wrote their NCLEX in Philippines. That was one of the easiest option for them to answer your question. Moving on to another question, we've got how long does the sponsorship process realistically take for F1 RNs? So Kennedy, to answer the question for you, it totally depends. Like if you are an F1 who has got OPT, we would want you to work on your OPT. When you have your OPT, we would want you to work on the assignment. In the background, what we do, we ask for certain documents that Mark would need, and then Mark will file for the adjustment of status. However, looking at the current visa retrogression, which started basically in the month of May, um, you know, uh, last year. So from that, everything changed. So earlier we have done the adjustment of status, and the nurses have gotten their green card even within a time frame of 6-7 months as well. That has also happened. Or if not the green card, we have at least filed for the adjustment of status along with the employment authorization document. So they would get one of these things so that they can continue working in the US. But right now, looking at the current retrogression, it's obviously going to take a whole lot than 6 months. I'm talking about at least 2.5 years, because the priority date's going to be current. Currently, the priority date is 1st December 21. So first we have to wait for priority date to become current, and only then we can file for the adjustment of status. However, I would also like to bring you guys up to speed that we are currently waiting on the October's visa bulletin updates, and because that's a new fiscal year in the US, so I guess there's going to be new allotments for the visas, and we are hoping to see some good movement in the month of October, which is the new fiscal year. I hope that answers your question. Even if it does not, Kennedy, we'll have recruiters reach out to you and they'll explain the entire process in detail. I see another question from Amaru, and it says, I'm a nurse from the Gambia and urgently need sponsorship visa to relocated ASAP. And I think Mark answered your question. And yeah, we would also find out the fastest way to get you here in the US. But unfortunately, at the moment, the only option that we've got is the green card, EB3. So we're going to try to do that for you as well. Okay, I've got another question. How flexible is the contract, especially for F1 grad that would want to go on to graduate school? So, okay. If I understand your question correctly, so you are F1 and we can only work with you once you have graduated. Just give me 1 minute. So we will only work with you once you've graduated, and we can work with you like, let's say 2 or 3 months prior to your graduation, so that at least we can get you to the interview stage and get you the offer, so that you have the offer and you can just prepare for your exams and NCLEX. Once you've passed the NCLEX, obviously you are eligible to work in the US as a RN. And as soon as you pass your NCLEX, we let the facility know that you're ready to work as a nurse, and then they're going to tell us about, I think this would be the right start date for you. So we are flexible in terms that we really don't want to waste on your OPT. If you are eligible for the OPT, we would want you to start as soon as your OPT starts, so that you start making money, and we do the adjustment of status, or we file for the I-140 petition as you start the assignment, or as soon as you pass the NCLEX, because only then we can file for your I-140 petition, to answer your question. So I hope I answered your question, Kennedy, but the recruiters will again reach out to you and they will explain the whole process in detail again. I've got another question here from Emanuela that says, hello, my name is Ella, and I have a question for the attorney, Mark. I'm currently studying nursing in the US. I graduate next year. I came to the US on an F1 visa, but it expired. My I-20 is current and my designated school official said my F1 status is current. Will my expired visa affect my change of status later on? Mark, that's your question.
Yes, before anything else, I just want to clarify that whatever we state here, this is just for general information. We're not giving legal advice yet at this time. For legal advice, we encourage you to talk to us, and we can give you some advice. But just to give you an general information about this question, um, once you're, I mean, a visa is different from status. So even if you came to the US and then your visa coming in, the one that you used, the one that's stamped on your passport has expired, that's fine. What's important is you maintain valid status in the US, meaning you don't, number one, you don't violate your status in the US. If you're an F1, you have to be in school, you have to be in the program, you have to have an I-20 that's current. So that's how you maintain your I-20. So even though the visa has expired, so long as your status in the US is valid, you should be okay. It will not affect, the visa will not affect your chances of adjusting status later on. So that's the first question. The second question, do I have to wait until I finish nursing school? The answer is yes. Because, I mean, to apply, well, you can, but for purposes of filing any immigration benefit, um, the requirement for a petition is that you are qualified. So if you are not, you have not graduated from nursing school, you are not qualified to become a nurse to begin with. That's why, for purposes of immigration, yes, you need to complete the program. But for purposes of applying for a job, Suraj will certainly
Yeah.
accommodate you. Yeah, you can apply anytime
Yes.
before your
And
program ends. Yeah.
that's what we recommend. Like you apply on your last semester, like even if you, let's say this is I mean it is July, and let's say you graduate in the month of December, you can we can at least start your application and we can get you up to speed when it comes to the submission package, which will have your self-assessment by Relias. You'll be doing your clinicals and all of that stuff, and we understand that this would be the only time when you will have some time for all of these things. So yeah, last semester is good. We will get you to the interview stage. Once you have the offer, we'll at least send you the offer so that you can go through that. And once you have signed it, we would want you to prepare for your NCLEX. In case if you need some extra help with the studies, we always share some of the study material uh, that we have got for our nurses. So for NCLEX, we send you that. We also guide you like how to apply for OPT so that you do not waste on your OPT at all. So, there's certainly some value if you start your, application with us in the last semester. And before you graduate, we obviously want to give you that time so that you can study and focus on your NCLEX and your exams. And once you have passed the NCLEX, that's when you really start your assignment. Like, let's say you pass the NCLEX, and then within a month or two, as soon as your OPD is active, you can start the assignment. And obviously there's more to that. Like there's going to be medicals done, background checks and the license endorsement, and to name a few, but there's going to be more. So yeah, the last semester is fine, but to Mark's point, we can only file or start your visa application once you're past the NCLEX. That's the only time you would be eligible for the I-140s and all of that stuff. Wait. Okay, Mr. Okay, I see what you're. So okay, so Mr. Amadu, I see. Kante, I see that you're saying you are an ICU and MedSurg who wants to sit NCLEX exam, but South Africa is the only place to conduct the exam. And obviously it's expensive. So you think sponsorship visa to USA is the only solution. So I would like to tell you, Mr. Amadu Kante, that we don't currently do that. All we can do is we can guide you like how to go about it. If South Africa is too expensive, my suggestion would be again the same, like Philippines would be a great idea. I think you can go to Philippines or you can go to India, for that matter, and write the NCLEX there if South Africa is too much. But unfortunately, before you pass the NCLEX, we can't really sponsor that for you because, because of so many reasons. Just to give you a logic, what if you don't make it in the first go, right? And sometimes if we start there's so much to it. We have had discussions many times, but I hope you see my point. That's all I'm going to say. And then I've got another question, Kennedy. Thank you for explaining the question. I meant, how flexible is it completing the contract hours, especially for F1 grads that want to go on to graduate school like nurse practitioner? Can the contract hours possibly be paused after starting and completed after graduate school? All right, I see the question. That's a great question. What we do for these, new grad nurses, like we work with a big population of new grad nurses, and I would like to tell you that once they complete their bachelor's, and recently, like last year, May, the whole retrogression thing started. Even though we were able to get a lot of our nurses their EADs or the green cards, but all the nurses who applied after May, it's a bit different for them. It was a bit complicated. So what they did go on for they did go on for the master's course or courses like NP and all of that. I'm not sure about if they went for the nurse practitioner course or not, but they did go on, and they did applied for the master's programs and all of that, and they were qualified for CPT that allows them to work 40 hours in a week. And while they were studying in the university, they were also working on their assignment, to answer your question. So you would have such options too. And the that's what it is. Like you have to complete the 5,600 hours contract. We can be as flexible as we can, but we also have to look at it in a way that the facility would also need to made aware about your situation, right? They would also expect you to take care of the patients there, and so we do not have a lot of control on these particular scenarios, because we have to work together with the nurses and the clients. I hope you understand that my point. All right. Oh, Kenya also has the NCLEX Center. I had no idea. That is great. So if Kenya has the NCLEX Center, that's even perfect. Any other questions we have? You can always put them on this chat. And just remember, all the recruiters will be reaching out to you shortly. So, they'll discuss your individual case in detail. So that's also there.
So, did you answer Kennedy's follow-up question?
Sure. Can I answer what?
Have you answered Kennedy's follow-up question?
I did. I just did, I think. Yeah. Completing contract hours, especially for F1 grads who want to upgrade their education, right? Like nurse practitioner. We did go through that.
Perfect.
All right,
Okay,
Terry, thank you for
Terry,
sharing that
that.
information. I see that there is an NCLEX Center. I do remember, like there were talks of opening up the new NCLEX Center in Kenya, so they have already done it. That is awesome. You guys can find the details in the chat. I think Mr. Amadu Kante wanted to know, like, other than South Africa, there you go. You also have the NCLEX Center in Kenya. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Terry. Kasim, go on.
Yeah, if there's no other questions, and in fact, let me open the floor for maybe some follow-up questions. If there's no follow-up questions, maybe we can go to our frequently asked questions. Just maybe tap into that and see if that can answer maybe questions that some of you have missed. Yeah, let's tap into the frequent questions. I think the NCLEX exam is very prominent, Suraj. I think what we can do, because when the recruiters reach out to you guys individually, they'll be able to send you some info by email regarding the NCLEX exam and the centers that's around, and some study material as well. But how does one prepare for the NCLEX exam, Suraj?
All right, so for NCLEX, there are there are many options how you prepare for it. Like totally depends on like what areas you really want to improvise on. So for NCLEX, for the new grad nurses, they're already up to speed with the whole, their in terms of the questions and everything, they're already practicing it. But for nurses who've been working for quite a while, let's say nurses who are from some other part of the world, and they've been working as nurses, there are obviously options. Like we have the study materials for them. There are NCLEX educators out there, which are very common. So if you think that you need some of those, I would definitely ask you to go through that. There are sample questions too. Like just go through the sample questions. There are websites out there which would really who have like mock tests on the website. So you just have to go there. It's a free mock test. You attempt the questions, answer those questions. They even have the time limit the same as the NCLEX, and they just updated to the new to the latest version of the NCLEX examination, which was changed, I think, last year. But yeah, my suggestion would be it totally depends on your need, like where really you want to improvise on your NCLEX. So my suggestion would be like to do some sample or the mock NCLEX test and see where you really are. And then you will also find out like where exactly you want to, improvise on. You know what I mean? So I guess you do want to start from there. One of the most frequently asked questions that I can think of right now for the TN nurses, it just popped up in my head. So I wanted to like talk about that. So that question is like, I'm from Canada. I'm from Canada. Do I have to write English proficiency test? That's a very common question that we get to hear. So the most important part when it comes to the English proficiency test is to remember that, if you have graduated your bachelor's degree from the um, from a country that has which is English speaking country, then you do not really have to do IELTS. You will get an exception for that. But just to remember, there are obviously exceptions. Like even if you are from Canada, but you have done your bachelor's in nursing from Montreal or Quebec, which is a French-dominated place where they speak French. So there you will have to write IELTS. Rest of the Canada does not. If you are graduated from the other part of the Canada, you don't really have to write IELTS for your visa screen. So that's something to keep in mind. So these countries, I think, obviously, there's US if you graduated from the US, Canada, except for Montreal, Quebec, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, even Jamaica, and UK, obviously. If you are graduated from one of these countries, then you do not really have to write your IELTS in order to obtain the visa screen certificate. Another question that I can think of.
So that's before you
Can't-
jump into that question, there's just
Yeah,
a
I
question
think
from
can't-
Amido. Is there NCLEX Center in Ghana?
So I was not aware of the fact that Kenya also has the NCLEX Center now. So I guess I really have to look up the NCLEX Center on the website. So you can always find that information on Pearson VUE website. They have a detailed information on all the NCLEX centers all over the globe. So you might want to check that. But I don't, as far as I know, the last time I checked, the Ghana was not there. And Terry acknowledges that it's not in Ghana. But I would still advise you to check it on Pearson VUE website. They would have a detailed information about where all they have their NCLEX centers. One more quick question from Emanuela. Associate degree nurses, right? Or is it just BSN nurses? We work with ADN with nurses who have got ADNs too. And we also work with the nurses who've got BSN, MSN. Yeah, it does not really make a difference. Just that if you have ADN, there's going to be a slightly less number of clients who are open to work with ADN nurses. Otherwise, most of our clients, they're fine with the ADN. Yeah, associates, it's fine with us. And you can always upgrade, your associates to bachelor's and then bachelor's to master's. That's something that you can do. That will always be an option for you as well. All
Let
right.
me open up the floor quickly to Laquanda. Laquanda, do you perhaps have a frequently asked questions regarding the metrics?
1 second. So yes, some of the frequently asked questions for medtechs is the difference between the EB3 requirement and also the H-1B lottery, and also our contract. So for those who are signing up or have already started to sign up for the upcoming H-1B lottery next year, you signed 2 contracts with the med tech program with Green Staff. The first is basically giving us and our attorney Mark permission to register you in the H-1B lottery. It is not a contract of hire. You will not receive a contract of hire, a job offer, until you are selected in the H-1B lottery and one of our clients that we partner with actually interview you and want to move forward with offering a position. So that's when you'll sign an actual contract of hire. So the first contract of hire is not an actual contract. So there is no financial obligation to you if you are not selected. The other is the testing, because it is a requirement that you have the ASCPI or the AMT have taken and passed the exam. And just like Suraj stated for NCLEX, you can find the testing locations on Pearson VUE as well for medical laboratory specialists and scientists. They will tell you which locations is the best location to go to take your exam. So those are the most questions that we get in regarding to the differences.
Thank you so much, Laquanda. Appreciate that.
No problem.
So guys, if we do not have any further questions, I'd like to take this moment to thank everyone for joining us for this webinar. Our recruiters will be reaching out to everyone individually. Please engage with them, ask as much questions as you want, make sure you're comfortable with all the information. And yeah, hopefully we can welcome you to the Green Staff family. And yeah, looking for further communication going forward. Suraj, any last words from you?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for these great questions. And yeah, the recruiters will reach out to you, each one of you. So it will happen today and tomorrow. So please watch out for those calls. And yeah, it was lovely meeting all of you. Have a wonderful day. I guess I'll see you soon.